What up, though, good people? I'm JR from the Talk 100 Network. Here with my guys, TEL-SCRILLA and D. Marl, and you're listening to the Talk 100 podcast. Let's go.
You are listening to Talk 100 with TEL-SCRILLA, D. Murrow, and J. Raphael. Tune in every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
March the 19th, Friday night, 2021. We made it another week. Big shout out to you. If it's your birthday, give yourself a pat on the back, take a shot to the head. You know what I mean? This is what we do every week. We just put the current events on the table, trending topics, and we give our perspectives and opinions, and we always make sure we keep it a buck. Check us out online, talk100.com, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Twitch at Talk, the number one, HUNNID. Thanks for being here on a Friday night and giving us your support. If you want to link up with us and be a part of the conversation, you can catch the live show on our website by clicking the live link in the navigation bar. This week, I want to start off, fellas. I just want to give a big old salute to the front lines, people on the front lines. Whatever you do, if you're on the front lines and you facing the madness right now, we love you, we appreciate you, and we need you. So, you know, somebody look out for your peoples around you. Fellas, what's happening?
What's up?
What's going on?
Chilling, man. Chilling,
Good,
man. Just chilling, you know, in the lab, trying to get things together. I know we running a little late behind. Appreciate y'all for sticking around for a second. Y'all, what y'all want to do? Y'all just want to jump right into it this week, or y'all want to tell me how your week been this week?
Well, nothing new in the week, so I don't know about Skrilla, but hey, might be able to jump right on in.
Jump right on into the current crisis. Oh man, it's a crazy one this week, man. We got
No question.
yeah. Y'all, you want to go ahead and lay it out, D-Mar? The Asian shootings at the spa shootings?
Yeah, they found 8 people dead in Atlanta spa shooting with and they're calling it anti-Asian bias. And they do have somebody, and they do have a guy in custody. 6 of those 8 6 of those victims were women of Asian descent.
7. I think it was 7 of them was women. What? Yeah, 7 women, 6 Asians.
Yeah, they said 6 between the 8, but these were definitely Asian. Yeah, so
the guy,
it just was crazy.
what's his name? I forget his name. I don't even want to say his name because to me, it seemed like the guy was.
He was looking for some.
That's what he want. He wanted. It seemed like he just want to be popular. He just,
Want his name out there but this is the worst way.
Right.
Doing something like this.
So according to some stories I saw this week, Skrilla, they were saying that the guy had just got put out the day before. You know, he's trying to make up all these different excuses for the reason why, trying to, figure out what kind of motive. I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
It
He got thrown out, and that's what stirred him up.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just sick, man. He's a sick person, man. They they arguing whether or not it was racially motivated. That's crazy to me. I heard an interesting stat today that in Georgia, they said that Asians make up, I think it's in Georgia or in Atlanta, one, but they only make up 4% of the overall population.
They got to be in Georgia because they make up 5% in the country.
Mm-hmm.
But if you include mixed race, Asians, then it's 6%.
Right. But they made up 75% of the people who was these victims here.
Really?
So yeah, they was just trying to get people to stop trying to figure out something else other than it being racially.
75%. Oh, are you talking about other victims
of
in
the
that
victims
spa
in this?
shooting?
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. Well, we gotta keep it 100, man. So, over the past few months, they've been trying to paint the picture that blacks are harassing and assaulting Asians in this, very large number. Now, it was clear and precise when they reported on. Remember, we had posted a couple weeks ago the black man hitting the Asian man, and how that kind of spurred on this so-called Asian liberation, if you will, or Americans against Asian hate. I think it's ironic that the largest population of Asians are in Houston, and there isn't any large amount of violence in Houston against Asians. So this false narrative that they are painting, I think it is politically driven,
But for what purpose?
I don't know, but for the same purpose that it was okay for China to discriminate against blacks that were over in China due to COVID, but that was okay. We swept that under the rug, and nobody said anything about that. We tried to say something about it, and we were crackpots or whatever. But go back. The first record that I have for black and Asian discrimination, China themselves done it. I looked it up because I know they're going to try to put that on the back burner and just make these little sporadic events, just come to the forefront. But China now they went on record and they're saying, well, they're going to stop discriminating against Africans in China. Mind you, in Africa, China is taking over Africa, but in their own country, they discriminate against Africans. I think it's hypocrisy. I think it is BS for the PG.
Well, I would say this: the black Asian thing, yeah, to me that's a totally different subject. It ties into it, at the same time. But the reality of it is that I feel like it's definitely some type of crisis going on. We see what we saw on the with the insurrection and everything. I'm sure a lot of those people, I think it's safe to say a lot of those people will be the ones who have been harassing. It was black people there, but not many, harassing Asian people, talking about, from the rhetoric from Donald Trump. I don't see how that's even in question. They said that over the past year, the numbers and reportings of Asian violence and all of that stuff is up over the past, like 3,500 or something like that.
3,800 actually, J-Ralph. 3,800 they said in hate incidents that was reported on Asians.
Yeah.
But what is classified as a hate incident? Because how are they so clear when it comes to other ethnicity groups when China themselves are racist against blacks, but that isn't a hate? You know what I'm saying? It's just whatever narrative you can paint.
But that sounds like you saying so we shouldn't pay no attention to it, or that like
I
that's
am
kind of
saying for a very certain reason that the news media is putting this thing on spotlight, and the ones that are coming to the forefront are mentally challenged. So are they being somehow coerced to do this? Because all of a sudden there was just this campaign, oh, we have to stop mistreating Asians. And then all of a sudden in the news, just every time you turn around, there's something being stirred up. But here is the thing. This is what we have never seen. We have never seen Asians being gunned down by the police. We have never seen the American government discriminating against them.
Well,
and we have never, we haven't seen it. I'm saying we have not, since we've been doing this show, we've never covered one Asian person being shot by the police because they were pulled over.
Just the coverage of them, because it's a lot of things that go on that just go unreported, untalked about, and but it's happening, and we know that it's happening. I mean, we seen it come, like we said last week, coming up where we come from heavily Asian populated community. Like, you know, we were in school with people, Asian people, and you know, like that, and it just, you know, I don't know, man.
I mean,
It
that's
wasn't like
one,
that.
but I want to know what are the numbers in Houston, because that is the only time we come in contact with them is when we go to the beauty store and the Chinese restaurant. Where do they stay?
Well, they live in.
Where is this large population of Asians that is being discriminated against? Now, the largest population in the U.S. is in Houston. Have any of these reports been garnered in Houston?
Well, I think the
It's
judicial
just
system in Texas is a lot different than other places in the country. So it might make sense for it to be low in Texas. You can't get a jaywalking ticket without, you know, being harassed down there, from what I hear. So I don't know,
I'm
man, but I
just
just
saying, bro. I think it could be. I think these few incidents are being blown out of proportion and being put on the TV because. And then here's another thing. I seen a whole campaign on the internet, like a commercial talking about now black folks. Now, you know what I'm saying. Now they ain't talk about these black folks being discriminated against by the China government. It wasn't that I'm seeing all this black folk, stop Asian hate, you know, this, that, and the other. And then they had the nerve to say, oh, support Asian community, Asian American businesses.
but listen,
If that ain't a slap in the face to every black person
I
in
get you.
America, I don't know what is, because they would not survive being 5% of this nation without us. And now all of a sudden, now they've been coming over here, starting businesses, coming in the community, in the hood, comfortably.
But you
for
would do the
years,
same
put
thing,
their
but that's
kids
not
through
their fault, though.
college.
You're right, with our dollars, but that's not their fault. If they could have an opportunity, then you
No,
would
but
take
I'm
the same
saying
thing.
this is all just drummed up over the last few months about this Asian hate, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Different
I'm gonna
things
say
like
this:
that.
as far as when you're using your platform to spew, it's the same cry that black people got when they showing up talking, complaining about, oh, Donald Trump is you know, pumping these racists and this and that. You think that they only racist to black people? That's not the case. He's standing up there saying, you know, using this rhetoric towards China and people of Asian descent. You know, I think it's safe to say that Asian communities should be on the edge, you know, following these shootings. You know, random
I never
shootings.
believed that narrative that Trump just garnered all of this racist. Mind you,
I didn't say
Mike Brown
all
was
of it.
gunned down.
Not all
Yeah,
of
I'm
it.
just saying Mike Brown was gunned down under the Obama administration. It's just, as you can see, you would take these news headlines and all of a sudden blacks aren't being discriminated against. They control the media. So they highlight these little things that happen. But again, I feel like this: let them Asians handle themselves. Black folks got other concerns to be, and for them to blame us because we were in the forefront of, you know, the black Asian
Well, you didn't
hate.
get blamed for this shooting. We
No,
specifically
we
talking
didn't.
about the shooting.
We talking about the shooting,
Yeah.
but at the same time, we have
Well,
to talk
before
about
at
the
the
whole
same
thing.
time, you got to give some condolences to the people who lost that. Like, I wouldn't care nothing about what you
Show
saying.
some love.
Had I
show
lost,
some love.
had I lost my mom to her place of employment, regardless, I'm just a kid. I don't know nothing about all of this politics and stuff. So my mom is dead. We got this the same thing Joe Biden did today. He talked a little bit about the shooting, and then the rest of his speech was all about politics. I don't want to hear that. My mom is, I'm like, we trying to bury my mom. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear nothing about all of this political stuff. That's how I would feel. And that's all I'm saying is that we gotta, like, they should feel on edge. If somebody just went and randomly targeting Asian businesses, it just happened. It's not like just a few incidents. This was like targeted 6 people, and they was all women from this guy who looked like he came out of the Capitol building. I mean,
He
come
looked
on.
mentally disturbed, in my opinion. Definitely.
Yeah, well, I would agree with that too. But hey, they should be on edge, just like we should be on
Yeah, they're on
edge.
the edge right now, and they're gonna have their own movement. It's not just gonna be all these Black Lives Matter and LGBT and all this other stuff. That Asians gonna have an Asian protection movement. That's what's coming.
Well, Joe Biden just urged Congress to pass the COVID-19 Hate Crime Act. Me and Montel kind of briefly talked about that earlier, and you know, the anti-Asian hate like movement. You're right. Like you can't be just going randomly killing people like they brought the virus over here or whatever. Whatever. I mean, that just can't happen, man. We can't sit by. Just like we want Asian people to speak up for us when we, asking for equal rights and all of that. I know that's a different conversation when we just look at, how Asians are in America as far as, how they live and the
Nah,
access
they
to
never
education.
spoken up. That's the thing.
I mean,
Well,
but
I
you
say
see
this.
some Asians, not
It's
as a whole. Like you don't see like the
right.
leaders of the Asian community saying, "Hey, we need to make sure." Like I have never saw that, but you
But
still see Asian
but
people.
they said that to us. They told us in the briefing. They said that black leaders should tell black people to basically encourage us to stop the Asian hate. That is where I was coming from earlier. So not speaking on the massacre, I'm just saying like as this the crisis in general, the whole like political scene is just wrapped around Asian hate, and that is what I was speaking on in the sense of you know it being turned toward us.
So Donald Trump is not to blame for this guy going and shooting these. He has no responsibility for this at all. Is it? Are you saying that, or do you believe that?
I believe that
You don't
definitely.
believe that him going against China the way that he had been the past 2 years, had nothing to do with these people running up in, these buildings and just, fueled with all of this hate. I think that
No.
Asian people is an easy target. I disagree. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Talk 100 with TEL-SCRILLA, D Myrtle, and J Raphael. Tune in every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So what's going on with this COVID, man? I hear that we 120 million total shots. I saw a figure or
118 million administered.
So is it going to do what they say it's going to do? That's what I want to know. They say if you take
We're gonna
the
wait.
shot, huh?
We're gonna wait. They're still dealing with the 29 million cases right now. So they administered those 118 million a little bit
Mm-hmm.
before deadline, I guess, before the 90 days, supposed to be 100 million. So a little bit before the deadline. But the point is that they have to wait to get that data.
Now a lot of other countries are shutting back down. Skrilla, what you thinking about that? I've seen Italy about to shut back down. Like they're saying the wave 3. Germany is saying the third wave is already here, and we just don't see it yet.
I mean they. I mean it can be a wave that basically take us on out to eternity. I don't know, bro. Like I just feel like they amping this thing up, man. I guess the silver lining in the cloud is we are still at 1%, less than 1% fatality from COVID.
But you don't know what type of lasting effects it'll have. Just having it, or even taking the vaccine. Like you
I
need more
know
data.
and that's the thing that we still are in the trial period for the vaccine, so we don't know if there's any long term effects from the vaccine or the virus, and then here's the catch 22. If everybody take the vaccine, and how you gonna differentiate where the numbers come from? You get what I'm saying? So you can say, oh, that was just COVID, or not, you're not gonna be able to tell. I guess we all should just fall in line and be like the black lady was. She said, I'm just gonna stick my arm out and I ain't gonna ask what's in it. I'm just gonna stick my arm. I'm not gonna look up the ingredients. And it's like, bruh. So the Blue Cross Blue Shield,
she was planning.
They got a whole commercial with minority doctors saying, if we all take we're all in this together type of attitude. I just want to know why are they?
I like how they're coming together.
But mainly for blacks and minorities, mainly blacks though. And I haven't seen not one white person say nothing stupid like that and be like, oh, I'm not gonna look up no ingredients. I'm just gonna stick my arm out and let them shoot. Now, if you want to take the vaccine, do that. You understand? But I just don't understand why we're being, coerced to take it above all else. I mean, just for her to say that, I was just like, wow. I just never would have thought that you would even say that in public.
Well, it's two ways. I guess it is two ways to look at it. Oh man, are they trying to use us as a guinea pig, or trying to make sure that there's another underlying agenda? It could be looked at that way, but it also could get looked at as the proof and the data of where we've been affected, not just on a virus, but other underlying health issues and things like that. And so with the combination of that, and if you get COVID and everything else, well, do we want this particular culture to have excessive problems and everything else if we already know these are other underlying things, and all it takes is for somebody to catch this virus, and then that's what triggers it, where it's in the worst condition. If you don't have nothing else going on with you, it's easy to say, oh man, I don't see nobody directly around me, or hey, I had it too, and maybe I didn't get affected.
I've known people that have underlying issues, and they had COVID and they didn't die,
and that'd be okay. Yeah, it's again, it's not a complete death sentence where it is, but that is more of that part has been proven, I guess.
You're actually more likely not to die if you get it.
Well, too, I've heard some nurses say that they have a better understanding of COVID now. And that's why you still see that number at 1%. So I think even, I would like to hear some reports of like what they're doing in the hospitals to get, things under wraps, because I know they're making gains. You get what I'm saying? Like we saluted those on the front line, and I talked to those people that's on the front line, nurses and doctors and just just different people, and they give me their own reports, and it always has conflicted with what has been talked about in the news, and that has been my whole thing.
What's the most alarming thing that some of them have said?
That basically, especially in the beginning, that they didn't know what they were doing. They were and just like you even say, like the numbers were higher in the Black community, and basically what they were saying was neglect. So we can't even say that it was 100% COVID. Can we blame some of it on just the ignorance? Is this is something new? We've never dealt with it before. Was it some negligence, that's come out against Como? You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like reporting the real information about this thing is going to help us also have a better perspective of going forward and taking care of ourselves and just dealing with it in a mature way, and not just saying, hey, because one of the doctors say, well, the vaccine is the only way we're going to get this thing under wraps if we all take it. And they're going, and these are doctors, you know what I'm saying? And then you talk to some nurses and they say, well, in the beginning, people were dying of blood clots and just different things like that. Okay, so now we know how to deal with that. We're giving them blood thinners. I want to hear more things like that too.
Yeah, right.
And
Well,
not just
I don't
push.
want to hear scary things, not me, but for the nation in the beginning of the thing, when people, it's just what it is. Number one, everybody doesn't have a balanced sense of thinking. Everybody damn sure is not leaders. And they are, and then there's a lot of people who are very quick to go and lean toward a conspiracy or the worst side of things and everything else. That's the facts and true matter of it. So it ain't about trying to be deception, but it is. And I mean, we're not kids, but it's the principle of parenting. No, you are not. No, I don't think everybody should have that in its raw form. A little bit of time should have went past. And then, well, man, you didn't tell me that was what was going on a little bit. Well, you did need to have some filter on where it is. Now, at this point, what needs to be said, because personal friends of mine have said, this may seem obvious, but people don't think about it. Initially, it's not a thing of nothing's going bad when you take the vaccination. What is going to happen the first 2 days, it's going to feel like actually you caught the virus. Remember, the antibodies got to get in you. And now that's they saying, oh, you didn't say nothing profound. No, but that's not what's being thought about. And then the first thing that is let's run and push a negative narrative on it. No, actually, that's what's supposed to happen. You're going to be a little bit under the weather the first 3 days. See, I hear what you're saying, but let's add that to it. Yeah, that can start getting said. So we can stop all this, especially in the Black community. I'm scared to death, and I don't want to do nothing because of where it is. I'm going to do, and nobody took all this time throughout their life, most people, to sit and read different things other than knowing what.
Well, and that makes sense because the bottom line is the Black folks got lack of health care. You know, we don't have all of these access to health care, to just things like that. So yeah, we're gonna feel the brunt of pretty much everything. But I'm gonna say, just like I always say, protect yourself, boost your immune system, stay hydrated, and get your workout on, exercise. That's the best way to fight it, man. That's the best way to just stay active. Even when you got it, that's what they tell you to do. Stay up on your feet. Try to get as many things done as you can around the house. And that's what's up, man. But we're going to be back in a minute. You tuned in to the Talk 100 podcast on the Talk 100 network. And make sure you reach on down below, hit that like, subscribe, share it with somebody, share it with your friends, you know what I mean? Show back up next week and get involved. You know what I mean? We just chopping it up, trying to figure out what's going on, trying to figure out what's true in the world, and this is what we do every single Friday night. We'll be right back in a minute.
Yeah, this is your boy TEL-SCRILLA, and you are listening to Talk 100. Catch us every Friday night at 9 p.m. on Twitch. Just search NCG Media, and on YouTube, Talk 100, and Facebook, Talk 100.
So Joe Biden, man, he came out and made some comments about old Putin, man. What y'all think about it? Did you get a chance to see that, Montel? You said when
Just
he called
briefly.
Putin a killer. And
Wow.
Yeah, he called him a straight
killer.
up killer, man. Somebody asked him and he said, yeah, well, I think he is a killer. You know, and they was asking him, well, what you gonna do about it, or something like that, and he was like, well, you're gonna see what's gonna happen. I don't know. It seemed like a threat to me, but I don't know.
He used those actual words, you're gonna see? Or
Yeah,
he said,
you will see. I don't have the clip, but yes, he did say that you will see, as if something else was coming up pretty soon. I don't know.
well, I mean, is Putin a threat? To an extent, to hear?
I don't know. What you think, Montel?
No.
I would
He
say
ain't a threat.
according to the agenda of the Democrats, yeah, he kind of is. Like if Russia was a part of tampering with the politics here, then yeah, surely he's a threat. He's like one of the richest people in the world. If he up there, sitting at about $200 billion according to the reports. So yeah, I would say he's definitely a threat if he is a killer. Yeah, and if he is, figuring out ways to control American politics, yeah, I would think that would be. Now, I'm not saying that those things are absolutely true, but hey, according to them, they got the data.
To go on the other side of things, that was the same thing that the Republicans was saying about China and them controlling our politics, in which basically they have a large part of ownership, and we are indebted to them more than Russia. So I would think that they would control more politicians than a Putin would, if you really think about it.
Yeah, and they actually just had. Speaking of them, they had some type of meeting. I think it was like peace talks, or the first meeting between our administration and the leaders over there in China, and it got pretty heated.
Yep.
Did you hear the lady going off?
Yeah, and they've been low key. They've been North Korea and just some other ones. They've been having low, like basically the U.S. better stay in their place. Like it's like a lot of rhetoric being tossed back and forth, and we've already bombed some Iranian supporters. So I mean, does it look like we're going into a war in some way, or are we positioning ourselves in the Middle East so that we can somehow answer to, or just increase our positioning over there? A lot of questions with that, bro.
A lot, you're right. Absolutely. But it definitely do look like the beginnings of the first few steps of, some type of battle, some type of war type setup. But it also just looked like Biden just, I don't know, man. I don't want to say recklessly, but he just, I don't say he's at the end of his life, but he's at the end of his career in politics. He definitely looked like he's just trying to get things done and do things he couldn't do. He pulled up some bill he was talking about. He was the author of from like 20-something years ago. I forgot what it was, but he's trying to get that passed right now. Dang, it slipped my mind, but
I think I came across that. I call Biden the kamikaze president. And he can do a lot of favors, and he can do a lot of good and a lot of bad, because I don't think he'll have a second term. So he'll be a president to closely watch, because he can pass a lot of unfavorable bills. If somebody wanted to introduce something that, that may kill their career, since he doesn't really care, what I'm saying? I'm not saying he doesn't care, but I'm saying he is not in the position to say, hey, I'm running for a second term.
Right.
So this 4 years could possibly be his last. So he could be a kamikaze president.
That's interesting. Now, did y'all see the guy who shot the baby mama, D Morrow? I think you sent me that. It was terrible. Sad, over stimulus money, man. Apparently, I saw the video where the guy had said it was, I guess, the girl, somebody who got shot ran to the next door neighbor house.
Yeah.
She was the one who got away, right, D?
Right. That is exactly what happened. Guy came over to his kid's mother house, and I forgot whether he had a boy or a girl together, J. Ralph. Came in the house, demanded 1,400 stimulus checks. That's another thing that, as we know, everybody's got a lot of these checks. Even my sister, I think she got hers last Tuesday or something like that. So the checks have been distributed. And again, this guy came over to his kid's mother house. There's a few of them near in the house, and he demanded the check. Guess he didn't work at McDonald's or somewhere to where in 2018 his taxes were reflected to where he could have got a $1,400 stimulus. I don't know, but he came over demanding hers. She said, well, no, this is for me, which I'm going to be taking care of my kids. He snaps. They try to run and things like that. And man, he shoots her and shoot a couple of the other people, like you just said, J. Rap. One of the other persons got away. Then he didn't kill his own baby, grabbed his baby and said, "Let me get up out of here," and then ran out. I don't know where he thought he was going.
He killed her mom too, right?
Yes, he did.
Wow,
Yeah, I think
man.
it was like 4 he killed or something like that.
And grabbed his baby and then left and ran.
Yeah.
I didn't think we would get a report coming from that attached to the stimulus. What kind of, I mean, do they do that at tax season too? I mean, it's not the first amount of money for, you have people that, again, if you make that under that, you know how it goes, Skrilla, if you make, what do they make? They make under 25K people and they have kids, they can get that tax credit, earned income credit on the tax receipt. And, you have people getting up to every year, those single parents with kids and stuff, 2-3 kids, $7,000-8,000 at a time in tax season. So this isn't the first time. I mean, what made him do this right after the stimulus?
Yeah, right. Well, she wasn't coming up off none of that money. Like you were saying earlier, he probably wasn't eligible for a stimulus, and maybe they were still messing around a little bit, and not justifying nothing. But she was like, "Nah, you're not. She not about to give him nothing."
You give me this check. I mean, I think he demanded the whole thing. Give me the check.
Man, that's just terrible, man.
Yeah,
just terrible to die over $1,400 once in a lifetime. Oh man, that's just terrible. People need to wake on up. Now I saw another story, man, this week that was talking about somebody got killed and a guy was selling his truck. That was last week, actually. He was selling his truck and just randomly went and met some guy on off of one of these websites. And the guy, it was, matter of fact, it wasn't a truck. It was like a moped or something like that, some type of bike. So he killed the guy. They, the family put out the missing person and all that. When they finally went to the address with this idiot who was supposed to be buying it, he has the bike sitting on the patio. It's an apartment complex or something like that. So he got the bike sitting outside like it's the basement or something, Just terrible, man. And it just make me say, like, I've been doing like online purchases and stuff like that for since the beginning, man. And it's always been just a common sense thing for me to I don't know, just meet up in the right spot.
Meet up and just
I'm not meeting you at your house. What I look like, you gonna meet me at Kmart, or I even meet somebody at the ATM. If you're gonna kill me, you're gonna shoot me right here in front of this camera,
Yeah.
We definitely got to be careful, man, because I don't even think it's just a matter of people not having money. It's just people are getting restless and antsy, and tempers are flaring. And, it's like, man, this country is we were speaking earlier
that's what I was gonna say.
about, Biden not really having the State of the Union address and all that type of stuff. Like, do y'all think that would kind of like help? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's the person for it, but we accuse Trump of the same thing, of kind of like not having the, the politic thing to do and say to kind of calm things down. I and just give y'all like a quick reference. Like basically Bush, who's not the most articulate president we've ever had, but he kind of remind me of Trump, you know what I'm saying? But he had the words to say at 9/11, even though it wasn't the most, he stood on that rubble and he said, we're gonna get those that did this to us. And you know what? Republican and Democrat, they kind of came together and formed some type of bond, if you will, and say, you know what, we in this together. I had loved one, not me personally, but I'm just saying the nation just kind of felt like, man, we in this together. We haven't had that moment, in the sense it's been a, this person is this and that, but where is that leader in America that says, yeah, hey, you know what, y'all, we've had a rough year and a half, because mind you, it's not just the election. It's just like, bro, we've been dealing with a lot, and we haven't had that speech. Not to lay out your political agenda, but just to say, hey, I'm the better. If you feel like you're the better man for the job, then I feel like now is the time to produce that and rally the troops together. You know,
he's been trying,
Well,
and a lot of that
actually,
is
he did
more
have that
so
speech.
than in what he's saying, though. Just real quick, D. A lot of that is more than what he's talking about. Is his tone of voice, certain things that he's doing. So I think he's at least trying. Even today, when they talk about the Asian shootings or the spy shootings, they had a little bit of that in there, especially Kamala Harris did. So she seemed like the point person for that type of being, a woman and being able to be a little more emotional publicly like that,
Mm-hmm.
So she was kind of like, she had that tone today when they talked about it, and she did just try to pull everybody together. Everybody.
Yeah, it was a nice, smooth, little soothing tone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say for Biden, he actually had that when he first addressed, because he had just finally what was on the 50th day, I guess, in office. He had that speech and actually trying to tailor that whole thing. Did a whole recap. A lot of what you said, Skrilla. He was touching on some of that stuff what you said on just recapping on where we been and just trying to get things, really in a better place and all that good stuff. So now what I will speak to is some of these people that's on the wild really over the last years period. And people they've just been losing a lot of people in these generations. They've been losing patience, and there's always been violence and there's always been trauma and different things like that through the years. Obviously, you point to stuff in '92 that happened or whatever else, and things weren't as hostile per se in the U.S. There's always been that, but it just seemed these days and times as we go on, the breed of people and how it is, like I said, just the willingness of and non-care of just fellow men and people going off, and a lot of the younger people, they just lose it so quickly. I mean, from suicides to, man, and mental health is really an issue here in the U.S. with that being, I think, managed. Like, do some people need to be on more medicine and that's not getting addressed? Like, it's a few things.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with that. But I think it's worldwide. We just talking about this pandemic. Everybody is kind of locked up and, not able to do things normally. So we was already, I feel like, under some type of mental health crisis in America, at least before COVID. So this just made it even worse. And that's what I was saying last week. Like, the things that people willing to get caught doing these days, it seems like it's just crazy. They don't care.
Right.
They're getting caught doing like broad daylight stuff. Just, it's a camera on every block. But you still, it's like you just throwing your whole life away. Like this guy, he gets put out. I don't know. That's what was reported. He got put out the house, and the next day he went on this crazy little, shooting thing. They caught him 150 miles. He was headed to Florida to, set up shop and do the same thing down there.
Right. All over after he got put out.
I'm sure it was a buildup of stuff, man, but
allegedly.
Yeah, right.
We don't know what happened, bro. All I know is it was kind of like a setup in a sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? You seen all the rhetoric beforehand, and then boom, this is kind of like, the icing on the cake to this whole Asian movement, so to speak, man. And we need to understand, man, that we can get along. And you know what I'm saying? I feel
I'm
like
with my Asian folks, man. Don't get it twisted. I'm with the Asians. You're not finna start coming to pick us off because y'all are fueled up and pumped up by Donald Trump and all the things he's talking, cracking all these jokes. I think that's a big deal. It might not be as big as CNN and certain people trying to make it, but if you know good and well, if it was us, they was up there clowning and cracking jokes about, we wouldn't be having that. And they outnumbered, So come on now, we can't just be letting people get picked off. If anything, they need to team with us. That's how I feel about it. I tell you what, D-Mar, old Deshaun Watson, man, would you say that he is in a sticky situation? I don't know. We got that coming up. Also, the primetime WAP is under fire.
Who's primetime WAP? Who's primetime WAP?
I'm saying that primetime WAP. That Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, they did the all of that, gyrating and all of that type of stuff at primetime TV.
In front of the babies,
for
in front
the
of the 7-year-old girls.
Yeah, right. And a lot of people ain't liking it. People coming out, white folks coming out talking about, I seen Tucker Carlson had made some comments about it. Just a lot of people. And of course, Candace Owens as well has some things to say about it. We'll chop it up in a minute.
She's out of a job.
Yeah, this is your boy TEL-SCRILLA, and you are listening to Talk 100. Catch us every Friday night at 9 p.m. on Twitch. Just search NCG Media, and on YouTube, Talk 100, and Facebook, Talk 100.
So what you think about that? So your boy, what's his Tucker Carlson? He says that behavior like this is hurting the kids, the next generation, of kids. They don't need to be seeing these type of, things like in the media or just, on TV. What y'all think about that? Do you think this type of behavior is hurting the next?
Well, I can go real quick, Skrilla, if you don't mind. Well, this WAP, ratchet behavior, is what is what he's concerned with. That's going to destroy our kids. And let me address the Grammys first. They decided to let this very edgy performance happen. They set it up. They do walkthroughs and everything, so they knew they were going to do it. But I think they were worried about numbers. They said this is the lowest viewing Grammy show in a while. I don't know how many years, but, and they're just trying to get everything back. A lot of artists have boycotted or decided they didn't care, so much about it. You had, Kanye using a bathroom on one of his just in a post was a couple months ago. So in other words, but so now they got to get a little risky. I mean, this is about edge and numbers. Same thing on social media. So they have to get into that whole rat race. So as far as girls, the young girls and kids, period, just seeing this, obviously these same videos are a finger touch away right on YouTube, which, hey, are most parents monitoring that? These same kids that this guy is worried about seeing? I don't know. But just his argument, though, is this is mainstream TV. And, you turn it on, and there's Cardi B.
Should kids have access?
And they're on top of each other, rolling around.
Should kids have access to this type of content? Is it up to parents just to protect their kids and make sure they can't see this?
Yes.
It is 100%.
Well, yes, because because we can't stop the media. Things have changed, so they do a lot less filtering now on availability of content being able to get access to. So you got to do a full-time job, which is hard actually. But I would say, yeah.
What you think, Skrilla?
Yeah, they got access to it online more so than TV. I didn't even know it came on. So, I mean, I don't think anybody, I don't think kids really watch TV like that. They be on those phones more than they do the TVs. But yeah, you got to. Nobody gonna police your kids for you. They ain't gonna raise your kids for you. So you gotta protect them from that. If it means just giving them the phone at a certain time and restricting certain access or whatever that you gotta do. But I mean, they got access to this and more online on those phones.
Yeah, but it's hard to restrict them. You know, when you watching a family show, and then you get content like this that just come on, you know, on a
Yeah,
commercial
that's
break.
true.
Y'all watching Alvin and the Chipmunks, and you get a
Yeah.
commercial for you know, some crazy show that's coming on.
No,
That
I agree
you
with
know,
that, but I'm just saying that that little, that time in front of the TV nowadays, most people are really watching a show that they, as far as what they, may have recorded or something like that. To whereas, and I don't think we got. I mean, it's just something that is a family show in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It was born when I was a kid, and it's born to me now. Like I wouldn't have watched it. Hey, you could have told me they was naked and I wouldn't have went back on there and looked at it. Like it's not a prime time event for the average American household. But I could see if that was the case, then yeah, you definitely would want to, from that type of thing.
hmm so her and Candace Owens, I didn't get a chance to get the whole story. So Candace Owens and Cardi B is threatening to sue each other. I guess one of them, I think Cardi B posted up some controversial image about Candace Owens' brother.
Defamation.
Yeah, it was like a defamation type of thing, and
They're
she
both
ended
going
up
after
took it down.
defamation on each other. Defamation of character.
Okay, so I mean, it sounds like something that's just gonna bump heads in the legal system. That's what it sounds like. Anybody got some concrete evidence? I mean, I heard Cardi B took the photo down. So there was a photo, and as soon as she got threatened with the lawsuit, she pops the. I mean, they deleted the picture. So I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just more rhetoric. I mean, if it happened, it happened. But at the end of the day, man, it's just, she been kind of quiet. So here you go.
Candace
You
Owens.
got, yeah. Well, actually, both of them. Cardi got the new song out. You know what I'm saying? She got the controversial award show, and now she got this. So I guess they say all press is good press.
All right, exactly.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done. No
Anybody can sue you, whether they win or not, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing. But
right, but it's all, I mean, when at the end of it, it's all cancel culture conversation. And I don't know. I'm just really not with the cancel culture at all. You know? I mean, I'm still not, but I'm also not with like exposing kids to sex either. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird because, out of all the things that you might do, you might cuss, you might let them hear certain songs. But when it comes to sexual content, I don't know. Most people I know would try to guard their kids from that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, it's hard nowadays though, but you definitely gotta have, make provisions to do that all around on all social mediums and technology and just different thing. When we was kids, your parents, oh boy, turn your head or whatever the case may be. But now,
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I'm saying, you at work and your kid over there in the corner with a phone in his hand, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
at the end of the day,
Looking at
it's
something.
or it ain't even about, maybe he may not or she may not be into it, but they go to school and some little kid got their phone and look at this, you know what I'm saying? So it's all the way around, man.
But it's
We got a
still,
lot
man,
to.
it's still no way to guard. It's no way to protect, the kids from all of it. No way. So I get what they're saying as far as just, not allowing this to be out so publicly. Because your kids
Yeah.
will be indirectly exposed to the things that you try to guard them from if you're just letting them go through the public system, public school system and all of that. Somebody don't care. Somebody just let their kids watch that all day and night, and they just gonna come and expose your kid to that. So it's really no way to really stop it. Unless it's like pay-per-view or
Not in America, it ain't. Other countries, they don't really have the, they got total censor. They ain't allowing certain things to go down.
Right.
In
But I guess,
country.
what his argument is, what he's speaking to is even though it's become normal, these relaxed like morals and different things that is being seen and heard and accepted. I'm gonna say something about the powers that be or networks or whatever just going ahead and making it. Don't do that. Now, even though some things and other zones have been relaxed, so on these smartphones and everything, just everything available on and tablets. But you don't have to just openly do that because you didn't do it before. That's what he's speaking to. So on that, he's talking about the principle of it. We know how. So the fact of where we are is already one thing, but you're just subscribing to it too, just for the need of, like, when it comes down to, like I said, just the ratings, the numbers. I think he's speaking to that. So yeah, it's something else, man. Crazy times.
So what's up with Kurt Franklin, man? Before we get up out of here, we still gonna get that Deshaun Watson out the way too, but just real quick, what's your summary of that Kurt Franklin situation? Like, is he in the wrong, like a lot of people say?
I mean, right or wrong, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he raised a sorry man. In my opinion, I fought the child, the 30-year-old child, more so than Kurt. I guess that, him cussing and that, might not have been but shoot, grown man, he bucked up against his daddy. He approached him like a man and he, say, I'll break your neck. Like, dude, how you gonna be 30 years old blaming somebody for your decision?
That's right.
That's weak, man. That's weak. And he was weak for putting it out.
Yeah, right. What made you hit the send button on that?
Yeah.
The post button. You know what I mean?
Hey, somebody need to take their belt off and whoop them going down the street, man. You ask me, you a man, bro, regardless of the fact, man. You can't blame nobody for, your shortcomings. At a certain age, you just gotta man up. That's what a man is supposed to do.
Straight up.
But it sounds like
you
you're
need
a little
to reflect. Right, you're right, Tel. And if you need to reflect, just from a therapeutic level, I guess, then go do that. That's okay. That's why, hey, therapy exists. That's fine. But really, guess what happens after that? Even with those coaches and life coaches, therapists and everything, they set you up on track so you can move forward, still do what you got to do. That's still the reality. I wasn't the best father. Somebody could have not been the best father. You're going to use that forever. You're 32. That's why I really don't never have work. I worked at McDonald's for 1 week because I never got shown structure. He's 32 years old. So you need to find a way to get past that. Hopefully forgive your father or whatever else, because, hey, he had his shortcomings or whatever. But then you going forward. Yeah, you're right.
I'm going to say this, though. Just not in really his defense, but it could be a lot that we don't even know about. That could be bothering him, that maybe he just held back. You know what I'm saying? And he knew that he didn't want to say that or go to that level, but he was so upset that he put that business out there. Not to really justify how he went about it, but he could be having some type of emotional problems from something that he saw, heard, was a part of, or whatever, that he having to keep a secret. Who knows? You know what I mean?
That could be true, but at the end of the day, he still made an unwise decision, and and that just may be where he at in life. Obviously,
he got a lot of support though, because when you come out like that on some suckers, it's a whole lot of people supporting suckers these days. A whole lot of organizations, a whole lot of, I'm telling you.
But I think it backfired on him, because at the end of the day, I guess you thought he was going to destroy his dad's career, But at the end of the day, bro, he came out looking real whack for that, dude. Real whack. Approach it like a man. You know what I'm saying? You talking that big boy talk, man. You talking about F your parent, bro. Wow. I don't care what, you know what I'm saying? Bro, that's a no-no in our community, bro. You don't, man. I don't think my mama,
right. That I'm gonna break your neck.
Parents.
That's light. I'm gonna break your neck. You might be able to survive that.
Hey, on the phone though, you know what I'm saying? That was a safe place too.
Shoot,
I wish I would cuss my mama or my dad.
You'd be killed. That's how that go. It ain't no break your neck. I might kill you. You know, straight up. Ain't no coming back from that one. So look, man, your boy Deshaun Watson, though, man. So he hasn't been arrested. He hasn't been charged with a crime, and he adamantly denies all the wrongdoings that he's been accused of. Right, D. Mara?
Well, Deshaun Watson on Tuesday night, he got hit on Twitter from attorney Tony Bugsby down here in Houston, which, by the way, neighbors of Cal McNair, owner of the Houston Texans, which makes the story a little fishy to me. I smell fishy, I smell fish, and I smell a rat. Matter of fact, I smell 100 rats. Because the reason why is because Deshaun Watson has been demanding a trade, refusing to talk to the team. And so next thing we know, there's this case that's come up now. So this attorney here, like I said, Tony Bugsby, he filed a case. And before he filed the case, by the way, Skrilla, what he did Tuesday night, never heard of this for an attorney to do this. What he did, he posted on social media, went to Instagram. Hey, everybody, we're filing the case tomorrow on Deshaun Watson for sexual allegations against this massage therapist in the morning. So in other words, hey, everybody, I'm going to get this case going. I'm going to be filing first thing in the morning. And I just want everybody on Twitter to know. I want to start this wildfire. Really? So that's what he did. And then, so it was 2 women at first. And here we are Friday. That was Tuesday night. Here we are Friday. It's officially 12 women that now the same attorney, Tony Bugsby, is representing. He's going to represent all of them.
Same attorney.
Same attorney. He said he's going to represent all of them. And he said that it could grow further. He said it's an additional 10 women who are considering filing some similar lawsuits. So it's going to be 22 women before it's all said and done. So now we're going the Bill Cosby route. We're going R. Kelly. We're going Weinstein now with Deshaun Watson on all these alleged one-on-one activities. A massage therapist said he rolled over and his penis touched up and he did this. And then the third lady in the allegation said back in December that Deshaun Watson forced her to give him oral sex. So that's basically equivalent to rape. So all these things, they need to be proved. And again, the women need to have their day in court, but Deshaun needs to have the opportunity to clear his name too, without being all the way rushed to judgment. But this is way out of control.
Now, in the beginning, he was saying that they was asking him for money, right? They tried to settle.
The attorney asked for money, yes, and said that, hey, I won't go lie, I won't report this. And it was something like they wanted like $500,000 or $600,000. He refused because it's like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I haven't even heard no complaint or had none because I haven't done anything. That's what he said immediately, right when this hit social media. So yes, they did try to do that. Once he didn't comply, the attorney, who didn't wait till the next morning to file in court, go downtown and file an actual legal thing, he went to social media to start the wildfire. And then this has been going crazy ever since.
So one thing that one thing that stood out to me with this is the quote when he was talking on Twitter. I guess this was a Twitter post, but at the end of that post, he says, "This isn't about money for me. It's about clearing my name, and I look forward to doing that." And for me, that's like we were saying, D. That's something that I want to hear from somebody who's innocent. I'm not saying he's innocent, but if you are, I don't like the fact that people can be shut up by attorneys or the legal process. Like if you're not guilty of something, you could just say, I'm not guilty of that. Like you could be talking about it and not just go on this hush campaign and just, I don't know, just not violate the case. But you could still speak on your name. You should never stop doing that. And I know that's what the courts like you to do a lot of times, but like when Kwame in the beginning killed Patrick, he was hush about everything, and I just feel that he should have just been, more vocal with what he wanted people to believe. But this is an unfortunate situation, man. I wish everybody, if the lady, if he is guilty of this, then we wish the due process to be.
it's inappropriate. Even if it's one case that sticks and that really proves to be true, and forced his way or whatever, did something inappropriate, then yeah, there'll be consequences behind it. Definitely,
I want to see due process. I want to see. I want it to be a fair process,
yeah.
Man. Period. That's it. That's all you can ask for.
But the NFL is going to put him on the exempt list, so I doubt he play a lick of football this year.
Hey, but it do smell like fish though, D-Ma. Just all of a sudden, like these women, like where are these women from? I want to see. I think if you accuse somebody like that, then you have to be required to give up your phone records, your email records, all that, as the accuser even, just so we can prove that, this wasn't a setup. You haven't been talking to the Houston Texans, anybody in that organization. They mad that Deshaun Watson is, wanting to leave and disgruntled or whatnot. We just want to make sure that that's not the case. So
we want to make sure it's not the case. I'll tell you one thing before we get out of here, because one of in this report, and like you said about the women and who it is, I'm glad because one of them is a case. She literally is named Jane Doe on the civil suit. Literally, that's her name. But it says Busby, the lawyer, said that one of the women he represents was referred to Watson by his personal quarterback coach, Quincy Avery. As recently as last week, another woman was referred to Watson by a trainer who works for the Texans. Good. Now we're going to get to some real names. Guess what? We need to see, like you said, some phone. We can't just have people just saying stuff. We need to see some kind of phone things, everything. That's good. It's a link now with a couple of the women that are connected. Some with the organization, whatever the case, and then some of them were private in their own homes. But you're right. We got to see a fair line of evidence.
But either way, though, man, like I feel like I heard Shannon Sharp yesterday saying that, like, these little guys, they got to definitely get with some veterans, some people who understand the scene of professional sports. You young with all this money. It's just certain things that you should never, ever be doing, period.
Have yourself in a position. Have yourself in a position.
Don't put yourself in that position, man.
You're vulnerable to do something. Because, again, they said a couple of the women were women that are massage therapists, quote unquote, but they're on Instagram. And these women, from what's also been heard when it comes out, Skrilla, they looking just like Meg. They ain't not just regular women. They look like Megan Thee Stallion and everything else. They got a wop, baby. They got a wop.
And it's important to know
found a couple on Instagram.
How much is his what do you get? $40 million a year. That's important to put that out there.
$40 million right now with this new deal that he just signed.
We're just putting all the facts on the table. You always have to just put it all out there. So that's just a fact. You gotta weigh that into the whole case and everything, man. And we need them phone records too. We need to see who you've been talking to.
Why is it that, this is the quickest and easiest way to take down a black person. Ben Roethlisberger had a couple of complaints that sounded very legitimate, but you did not see the cancel culture with him. He still was able to pretend to be America's favorite quarterback. That is, just put it on the table. A black quarterback has to walk more circumspectly than a white one. In today's society, it is still open season on a black quarterback. And
let me ask you this, because I know you don't I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is a good question where you're going. Do you think, because again, Cal McNair, his father, Bob McNair, who passed away, he was one of the ones back when the kneeling went on with Kaepernick. He was one of the ones that said, we can't let these inmates run the prison asylum, which these are players. Why you using that term? But that's the phrase he used. This is his son now who owns the team, and he's still cut from that cloth, which a lot of these billionaire owners have that mentality. Because Deshaun's trying to force his way out, like James Harden did. But see, the NBA is different. NFL don't play that with these owners. Do you think this is a smear campaign? Is that the side of this too? That's what this is about, you think? With this women all of a sudden? That there could be a smearing of his name because he stepped out of line, trying to force his way off the team?
But they're talking about trading
you got
now.
Some lawyers out here that can course these young ladies on what to do and what to say, because it's like an open, a black man is unprotected in a lot of cases, even if he has a lot of money. You know,
all the way
because he
up
doesn't
until
have
now,
that
they were saying he's our
infrastructure.
quarterback. All the way up until now. But now all of a sudden they willing to get rid of him.
You can come out that arc of safety in that sense if you ain't pleasing the right wealthy white American, so to speak. Yeah, you can fall out of grace very quickly, and I mean, all the way to the beginning of that Mann Act. This has been, you know, they did it with Jack Johnson. Somebody should, I mean, I can name you 20 black rich people, black men, and specifically who has been brought down in the same manner. Same thing with T.I. And I'm not saying that any of these guys are guilty or not, but I'm saying it is a pattern. Now, you mean to tell me none of them billionaire owners have inappropriately touched an employee, but you won't hear about it. And that is the thing. It should not be able.
Except for Como, which that's a political thing.
Yeah,
but go
definitely.
ahead.
and then very conveniently, when he was positioning himself to be the president, all of a sudden, now you have these accusations. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm not speaking to people that have been injured in the past. But what I am saying is maybe to stop and protect some of our people, maybe it should not be able to be broadcast. Take it straight to the court. Because here's the thing. Yeah. If you smear somebody in outside, you know, and you can, you know, you take it to trial or whatever the case may be, now you've tainted the jury. And it could backfire if you are the one. You get what I'm saying? If he's just everybody's favorite quarterback and you're this mean little girl, you know, taking our face. So maybe to make it more circumspect, just keep it private, take it straight to the courts. And then when the courts do their thing, then you can make it public.
That's too much like right.
It is, but you know, I'm scared for the young man because what if he did not do it?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was asking. Yeah, I mean, what if this is all a smear thing, all at the sake of why did you step out of line on the business side trying to leave here? They're willing to just throw away and mess up and tarnish a name and everything else. Because as of now, he's gonna go on the NFL's exempt list just for these accusations. Once after everything's clear,
listen. What we can't allow them to do is just act like there's only one side of this. Whereas if somebody's a sexual abuser, then he has a pattern of all these women, and that's why all these women come out. We also have to make sure that they say that when you work for all this money, there's gonna be people who just wake up every morning and just think about who they can get. You know what I'm saying? Like it's two sides of it both, and they need to qualify both sides and disqualify both sides. However, that's right. You know, and that's just
I agree with that, bro, because it's a scary day. If in this day of social media, if none of these accusations are true, no matter what they come out and say afterwards, this is over his life, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm not saying he can't make it out from of it, but
and
bro,
that's what I was telling
D-Mar
yesterday. If it comes down to it, his career is over with, and he goes to prison. He goes from that 30 million to nothing. Quick, just through this case, he'll be broke. You know what I mean? So your whole everything is over with. If this is what they chose to do because he wanted to leave, then yeah, somebody gonna have to be held accountable for, you know, how this is going.
This is
but hey, New Leaf Home Solutions, Waterford, Michigan, big time sponsor and supporter of the show. Get you your dream home or your reality. Check out my man Skrilla Tell, the producer, on Instagram for more information. Shoot him a DM. Hey, also Herbal Rotation LLC, a company which helps to draw awareness to responsible and safe herbal healing, and also helping to diminish the harmful effects of opioid abuse in society. Check the newsletter out every Monday morning, herbalrotation.com/news. Fellas.
And you can't leave out the sports time, baby.
Yes, sir. But that's if you like live play-by-play sports action and live game recaps, all of that good stuff. Check out my man D Morrow at Real Sports Time. Actually, it's our sports time now, right, D?
Yes, our sports time. Oh yeah, that's it, baby.
The letter R, sports time.
Real sport.
Everywhere online.
Yeah.
Hey, but I just want to wish everybody
show.
a great weekend. You know what I mean? A safe weekend. Get out here and get
Enjoy
your
this
little
good
sunshine.
weather if you up here in Michigan.
Oh yeah, definitely. Be safe though. You know, strap
safe.
up, get your mask. Don't get into it with Karen. You know, she making sure you got it over your nose and all that good stuff. So, you know. I'm up out of here though, y'all. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace out, everybody.